Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth, and fancy seeing you here in June. A very welcome, my friends, and especially my enemies. Come in, sit down, no touching. I don't do the touching. And welcome to Save Krypton here on Big Mouth, the official place to fight the battle that brings back Krypton. It gives us season 3 of Krypton. And Cam Welsh, the genius that co-showrun this show with David S. Goyer, or I think that's the case, has posted the opening scene of season 3. This is genius by Cam, by the way. I think someone actually asked him what the plans were, but this is great because for me, we are on the Save Krypton offensive now. The actors haven't said anything, the producers haven't said anything, but I actually think they should start really hashtagging Save Krypton because this is their baby. This is something really special. And let me just say, like I said on the day I broke this news on here on Big Mouth, the only experiences I've had on Twitter are with Cam and the other Cam who plays Segel, of course, and Wallace Day and all the other fine producers and actors and everyone else involved on Krypton is nothing but kindness, generosity, and a sheer passion and an indulgence to want to talk to us, the fans, like friends, like equals. You don't get that on other shows and other movies. It's freaking amazing. So would you like me to read you what Cam just posted? This opening scene of season 3. Now, unfortunately, my eyes ain't great. This is very little writing, so you're going to have to bear with me. This isn't going to be very professional. But hey, here on Big Mouth, I'm using a camera from my Lenovo, a built-in microphone. So we are very unprofessional here on Big Mouth, but not bad, just over 700 subscribers. Thanks for that. Let's read this. A school bus... No, let's start again. Pevek Chokota Automodus Drug Russia 2020. So I assume this scene is set in Russia, unless I'm wrong. Anyway. A school bus loads up kids to take home, and a quiet boy steps aboard. I'm really going to have to close up on this. Looking for a seat. His eyes darting anxiously beneath a mop of dark hair. Looking a bit like Seg. If you squint hard. As he moves along, he's tripped suddenly by a tall bully with a buzz cut. Bully stands over the boy, calling him names, calling him weak, wishing he'd stand up and fight him. But the quiet boy restrains himself, tamping down emotions, taking a higher road. The boy exits the bus. As the satisfied bully looks on, that's what I thought, the bully says. Later on, the boy sits alone, waiting for his ride. A kind man pulls up and sits down. He reminds us of Jonathan Kent in his muddy overalls and a beat-up truck. He speaks to his son, who feels different than everyone else, feels alone. His father tells him the world is filled with bullies, and good people have to stand up to them. We're all meant for something bigger than ourselves. But bullies, they keep us from reaching where we're meant to go, from becoming who we're meant to be. It's good advice from a good dad, and it reminds us of the conversations we've all seen rooted in a small Kansas farm town. Now I'm getting emotional about Smallville. Anyway, right. The duo arrives at a secluded property. A large abandoned industrial plant looms in the fields. Beyond the small shack, the father stands at his truck, watching his son nervously approach the door. Boy clenches a fist at his side, determined to do his dad proud, to make things right. Boy knocks and the bully opens the door. And what's that say? An inscrutable look on his face. He says nothing as the boy reaches deep down and tells the bully no more. He won't be pushed around. And in a beautiful moment of quiet heroism, the boy reaches out his hand and offers his friendship The bully stares a moment, surprised. Then he takes the quiet boy's hand. Boy smiles. He glances back at his proud father, but when the boy's eyes return to the bully's eyes glow red. With a scream, he obliterates the boy with heat vision. Nothing left but singed dirt. As the boy's father grabs a rifle from his truck and rushes the shack tearfully, he meets Bully's eyes as the father is killed by a brainiac tendril to the throat, tossed aside like nothing. Sorry about this, but it's really hard. I'm literally having to scroll around all the time. The writing's so small. But I must admit, this is freaking beautiful. Brainiac steps from the shack's shadow, looking like our man, Blake Ritson. No green screen. No, right, let's start again. Like our man, Blake Ritson. No green skin. Right, where are we? His eyes are black as he puts a hand on the shoulder of the bully, revealing this is Jor-El, his adopted son. Jor apologizes, conflicted over what he's done, but Brainiac tells him to never apologize for the power he possesses. Strength is a virtue necessary to survival. Jor is meant for something bigger. As the boy hugs Brainiac, we hear Jor utter 4 chilling words. I love you, Dad. Wow, 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 Cameron Welch. That is absolutely beautiful. Now, I don't know who penned this, but this was going to be the opening teaser for Krypton Season 3. And now you're telling me, right, that this show deserves to be cancelled. No, this is an awesome show. The mistake here was having it on Sci-Fi, having it on a broadcast network, which needs kind of sponsors and advertisers and kind of respectable ratings. The problem with what Krypton has had, and I don't know about Season 1, is I think On Demand has been pretty good, but the live broadcast hasn't worked out. Look, this should never have been on any TV network. This should have been on DC Universe. They've even got the first season on DC Universe. So I believe this show will be saved. I believe this show will land on DC Universe, not HBO Max. I don't believe you'll have to wait for HBO Max, but DC Universe is the perfect place. It's got to show up there. This show is really popular. The reviews were off the wall, right? And so the people asking me about the Save Lucifer campaign and saying, well, why was the Save Lucifer campaign so successful? And maybe why isn't Krypton trending as high as we want it to? Well, that's a simple answer. And it's nothing to do with people not loving Krypton. It's nothing to do with the show or the fans. It's to do that Lucifer was on one of the biggest networks on American broadcast television, Fox. So you amass a big following. Even though Lucifer, in its final season, didn't have enough ratings to keep going on Fox, it had a big following. Now, Sci-Fi is a very small channel, so the following Krypton would have been smaller, not because of the quality of the show, but because of the size of the network. And so what you have there, you already have a problem, because a show's on a small network hasn't got a big following already. And there's the issue. So there's not enough people to know about Krypton. People don't know about Krypton apart from people who really have their ear to the ground and Sci-Fi viewers. And I don't think Sci-Fi viewers were in tune with Krypton, because Sci-Fi, even though Krypton is a Sci-Fi kind of show, it wasn't the same kind of thing that we're used to on Sci-Fi. I thought it was the wrong network. I really did. And it's now up to Warner Horizon and Warner Brothers and DC to do something here, because they're all the bloody same company. You know, surely if you can't talk to your department heads here and say, hey, we've got an awesome show here, guys. It's got a good following. The people who work on the show, in front and behind of the camera, all some hard-working people, all Superman fans, all Smallville fans. They love what they're doing. They're committed to what they're doing. And we've got to save this damn show. It's amazing. That opening is amazing. The love and intelligence that's gone into that. And I can tell that Cam's a Smallville fan just by what he said about the small Kansas town. So basically, I am, well, I'm gutted it was cancelled, but I don't believe this is an unwinnable fight. I think this can be a very short fight. I think this is something that can happen really quickly. Krypton should and probably will be on DC Universe. But let's just say that's not the case. We have to fight. Keep on hashtagging Save Krypton. Keep on doing it. If you love Krypton, if you admire these guys and girls who work so hard on the show, that reply to your tweets, you know, give them something back. They have to move on. They need work. They have to keep on looking for work. But the harder we fight, the quicker we can get them back on Krypton. This show deserves better. I love Superman. And I know what a lot of people say, we want a Superman show. But there's no reason why we can't have a Superman show as well as Krypton. It's not one or the other. So let's do this and let's save Krypton.